Welcome students. Today we are going to start our part 2nd from lesson number 6, the circulatory system. Student, we learn about what is meant by circulatory system in part 1st. Then we learn the three principal fluids of our body. And then after that we started our new topic, that is the heart is the pumping organ. That we have to learn students about the heart. So heart is the pumping organ and it is the very important part in the circulatory system, because the heart is pump the blood, it pushes the blood, it receives the blood, and the blood is going on with the help of the blood vessels throughout our body. That is the circulatory system. So students, we have to learn about the internal structure of the heart, and heart is containing four parts. The two auricles and two ventricles. The upper part are the auricles and downside part are the ventricles. So students, heart consists of the four chambers and they are consisting the right part and the left part. That's why we called as a right auricle, left auricle, right ventricle and left ventricle. So students, in that way, the auricle are called as a receiving chambers and ventricles are called as a distributing chambers. These both auricles, right auricle and left auricle, both auricles are receiving the blood, and the right ventricle and left ventricle, both ventricles are giving the blood. That's why it is called, auricles are called as a receiving chamber and ventricles are called as a distributing chambers. Now students, we have to learn in the internal structure of the heart, the blood is going from auricle to ventricle, how it is controlled, how it is guarded, that we have to learn. So, the right auricle opens into the right ventricle, and students, this opening is guarded by the tricuspid wall. So right auricle, when it opens into the right ventricle, that time it is guarded by the wall. That wall is called as a tricuspid wall. Tri means three. Three flaps are present. That's why it is called as a tricuspid wall. Now students, about the left auricle. This similarly, left auricle open into the left ventricle and it is also guarded by the wall, that is called as a bicuspid wall. Bi means two. So two flaps are present. That's why it is called as a bicuspid wall. So these walls are present because the flow of the blood is going on only in one direction. It will not come again reverse. That is why these walls are present. So students, these are all about the right ventricle and left ventricle. Blood flows from the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery and from the left ventricle into the aorta, the largest artery. Always remember students, if it is asked in exam, which is the largest artery? So the largest artery of the heart is the aorta. So listen student carefully about this. The blood flows from the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery and from the left ventricle into the aorta, largest artery. And the flow of the blood from the ventricles into these two arteries, it is also guarded by the walls. It is regulated by the walls, and these walls resemble, it look like as a half moon. That's why it is called as a semi-lunar walls, because it is look like as a half moon. So it is guarded by the wall. I want to explain about these walls, how it is present. These walls are present at the opening where the pulmonary artery and aorta live, the right and left ventricles respectively. that they ensure that the blood does not flow back into the ventricles. Students, I already told, always remember the blood flow only in one direction because of only this gap, that walls are present. So students, in hearts the walls are present. They are the three types. So first wall we learn tricuspid wall, second wall we learn bicuspid wall, and the third wall is the semilunar walls. So these three walls are maintain the flow of the blood only in one direction. It will not come reverse back. So students, this is all about the internal heart structure. The function of the heart is going on in that way. Now our next topic of the lesson is the pacemaker. So pacemaker, I want to explain about the pacemaker. The heart is a muscular organ made up of specialized muscles. That muscles are called as a cardiac muscles. And these muscles show continuous contraction and relaxation without any rest throughout the lifetime of a person. This contraction and simultaneously relaxation is a result of an electrical impulse which originates in a node, and that node is called as a sinoatrial or SA node. This node is located in the upper right corner of the right auricle and is responsible for setting a rhythm for contractions and relaxation of the heart, or it is simply called as a heartbeat. That's why it is also called as a natural pacemaker of the heart. So students, due to the continuous contraction and relaxation, our heart is going on without any second. The heart is not stopped. So continuously it is going on relaxation and contraction throughout our lifetime. But dear students, sometimes a mechanical device is called as a artificial pacemaker. It is placed in surgically in humans. Artificial pacemaker. This is placed surgically in humans if their SA node is damaged or if the electrical conduction system of the heart has problem. That time this artificial pacemaker is working. So students, here we completed about the pacemaker. So dear students, now our next topic is the blood vessels, and you know that when we started this lesson, blood always carry with the help of the blood vessels. And students, these blood vessels form a complex network of conducting tubes, and blood vessels are of the three types. The first one is the arteries, second one is the veins, and the third one is the capillaries. So first we will discuss about the arteries. Students, these arteries carry blood away from the heart throughout our body, and the veins, they are carry the blood towards the heart from the different parts of the body. And the third one is the capillaries. These are very finest blood vessels in the body, and they are interconnecting the arteries and veins. There are the principal sites. These are the principal sites where the exchange of water, oxygen, carbon dioxide and many other nutrients and waste substances between the blood and body tissues takes place. So students, if we will see the differences between arteries and veins, so the first difference is that the direction of the blood flow. And arteries carry blood from the heart to various parts of the blood, and veins carry blood from different parts of the body to the heart. Second, nature of blood. In arteries, they carry the oxygenated blood. Only the one exception, pulmonary artery. It carries only deoxygenated blood. But veins carry deoxygenated blood. Only the one exception is there. the pulmonary vein, it carries oxygenated blood. The third difference, the main, is the flow of blood. In arteries, blood flows with high speed with under high pressure. Veins, blood flows with low speed and under low pressure. Then the fourth one is the walls. In arteries, walls are absent, and in veins, walls are present. That's why, dear students, the flow of the blood in arteries with high speed, and the flow of blood in the veins, it is low speed. This is the reason. Next one is position of the body. Arteries are deep seated and veins are comparatively superficial. We are able to see sometimes the veins of our body. So students, these are the differences between arteries and veins. Now students, the next topic of this part is the blood vessels of the heart. And the first blood vessel is the vena cava. So there are two types of vena cava are present in our body. So the first one is the superior vena cava. So this is the large vein that brings in deoxygenated blood from the upper parts of the body such as head, and the inferior vena cava is another large vein that brings in deoxygenated blood from the lower parts of the body such as trunk and legs. So both these veins open into the right auricle. Second one, pulmonary veins. They bring in oxygenated blood from the right and left lung. These veins open into the left auricle. Next is pulmonary trunk. It arises from the right ventricle, carrying deoxygenated blood to the lungs for oxygenation. The pulmonary trunk branches into a left and right, that is the pulmonary artery, and each going into the respective lung. So the right side lung and the left side lung. And the next one is use the left ventricle carrying oxygenated blood to all parts of the body through its branches. And student, it is the largest artery. Next is the coronary artery. It is the blood vessel that distributes oxygenated blood to the walls of the heart, and it is a branch. Next one is coronary veins. They bring back deoxygenated blood from the walls of the heart and pour it into an opening in the right auricle. So students, these are all the important blood vessels of the heart. With the help of these blood vessels, the heart is carry the blood, that is oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood. So dear students, now our next topic is the blood circulation. How the blood circulation in the heart is going on, that we have to learn properly. Listen, the deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body is received in right auricle. I already told that. Always remember, right side of the heart is containing deoxygenated blood and left side of the heart is containing oxygenated blood. So the right auricle always containing the deoxygenated blood, and it is collected by that veins and they pour the blood into the right auricle. Simultaneously, the oxygenated blood, the oxygen-rich blood is returning from the lungs and it received in the left auricle. So left auricle is containing oxygen-rich blood. The right auricle contracts and pumps deoxygenated blood into the right ventricle. Right auricle giving the blood to the right ventricle. Simultaneously, the left auricle contracts and sends oxygenated blood into the left ventricle. Both sides, one is deoxygenated blood and one is oxygenated blood. So the both auricles giving the blood to the both ventricles, right ventricle and left ventricle. So the arteriovascular walls close with a sound when the ventricles are full, and the end of this auricular contraction at the same time semilunar valves are open. So dear students, the right ventricle begins to contract. The deoxygenated blood is pushed into the pulmonary artery. We have already learned that students, pulmonary artery carry only deoxygenated blood, and this deoxygenated blood from pulmonary artery is transported to the lungs for the oxygenation. Simultaneously, left ventricle also contracts and oxygenated blood is pumped, and with the great pressure that blood is going, with the help of this great pressure, the blood has to reach the all parts of the body. So the pressure is very high that time. Similarly, so semilunar valves close with a sound when blood in ventricles has been pushed into the arteries. So students, in that way the blood circulation of the heart is going on. And students, it should be always remember that when the heart chambers relax, they are filled with blood, and when they contract, the blood is pushed out of them. These are the two main concepts. Both auricles relax and contract together. Similarly, both ventricles too relax also and contract also together. The contraction of auricles is quickly followed by the contraction of the ventricles, and this goes on in rhythmic manner about 72 times per minute. And it also remember that the right heart, that is the right auricle and the right ventricle, receives deoxygenated blood, while half means students, the left auricle and the left ventricle receives oxygenated blood. The blood on the right side of the heart never mixes with that of the left side. Dear students, why the blood is of the right side and the left side, why it is not mixes with each other? Because our heart is differentiated into right and left with the help of the septum. That's why it never mix both sides of the blood of the heart. So students, here we completed our part second from the circulatory system. Thank you.